And we got some breaking news into the HQ. North Carolina was unbeaten, but they are unbeaten no more as UVA goes into Chapel Hill and shockingly picks up their second win of the season, beating 10th-ranked North Carolina 31-27. It is the first ever road win against a top 10 team for the UVA football team ever. Shocking development in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, as UVA comes in and beats the previously unbeaten Tar Heels 31-27. It was James Jackson with that interception for UVA that sealed the game as the Tar Heels were driving to try to get the go-ahead touchdown. But my goodness, what an upset at Kenan Stadium in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Congrats to the Cavaliers. And welcome into the HQ. Russ Thaler here with Emory Hunt, CBS Sports college football analyst extraordinaire. So analyze this. What the heck happened to the Tar Heels? They were favored by 23.5 in this game.
Well, I'm glad you asked, bro. That's why I'm here, because I feel like they took their foot off the gas early. They kind of took Virginia lightly, and that right there is going to have you playing these type of games and finding yourself getting beat. And I think you have to look at that UNC defense. This is why. They gave up nearly 235 yards rushing on the ground at 4.4 yards an attempt. Third down defense was 8 of 18. You got to get Virginia off the field, and they didn't get them off the field on fourth down. Virginia was 2 out of 3 on fourth down. So all of that screams that UNC defense didn't have any success because their offense really was able to move the football and find some success and find points up on the board. But defensively, they could not get UVA stopped. And it was a big UVA defensive performance that got them the win.
Cavaliers have now covered in 4 straight games, so they haven't won a ton of games, but at least they're covering at this point. But the bigger question then becomes, though, how much is lost for the Tar Heels here? They were undefeated, ranked 10th in the country, with a real chance in the ACC. What does this do to them?
And here's the thing. When you think about the ACC, people always think Big Ten, SEC, and maybe one Pac-12 team. The ACC was playing with house money because you have UNC, you have Florida State. Now both are on the rope. So now with the loss, people will look at UNC and the ACC like, well, how good are they in that conference? Maybe we can sneak 2 Big Ten teams in or 2 SEC teams into the playoff, because an ACC champion will be looked at as less than because of how they're playing. This was a huge loss, not only for the Tar Heels, but for also the ACC.
Yeah, and UVA, as you can see, they actually came in as 24-point favorites at kickoff for Tony Elliott. It has been a rough go for this UVA team. They've gone through a lot of adversity, and that's putting it mildly. But how big of a win is this for the program?
Huge win, because it's hard to recruit at UVA. You have to get the right type of student athlete in there. And so they hadn't had success since Mendenhall left. So he comes in, has to find his way, has to rebuild this program, get the type of guys he wants to come in and run his offense. So this was a big-time win, because we finally saw what a Tony Elliott offense looks like versus a very good team. And they got a landmark win. So this should help in recruiting. It should help build this program moving forward, and we should get back to seeing the Virginia that we used to see growing up.
Wahoo wah. There is great joy in Charlottesville, not so much in Chapel Hill, as UVA pulls a massive upset, the second biggest by point spread standings in college football this season, 31-27 over previously unbeaten North Carolina. That's Emory Hunt. I'm Russ Thaler, and we have so much more still to come as we look at North Carolina's schedule moving forward. They'll take on Georgia Tech next weekend in Atlanta before coming home to Campbell. And then that game against Duke is going to loom large, we think, on November 11th. But the Tar Heels, unblemished no more